just.
I would,
give
I mean,
them the same.
if
No,
I
last, last sentence.
Because he had, obviously we have
Nearly
eight
28%
ranking
of
in our
adults
office, and
have
I don't think,
disability.
Yeah, I can't believe
I
that.
mean,
Read that
Nathan
last,
was
very
like,
last sentence there, Steve.
yeah.
On
Wow.
on the very last sentence.
Really took a liking to it.
48%. I can't believe, that's, you're twice
I
as big
love
as we
doing it.
are. But 14 million people. Read that last
Good
sentence
work.
in the corner there. That's
That's
how
over
it's
one
the
out of
last sentence.
It's nice being involved.
28%.
I just acknowledge that.
In Ohio. Ohio, yeah. They're twice as big as we are. Over 14 million
Yeah,
people.
it's,
That's a lot of folks.
yeah.
Well,
I
I'm not, well, never mind. Shut up, Steve. I'm thinking of Cincinnati.
Thank you again.
See, this is
Yeah, no problem.
Read that last sentence.
I did that. I read that apology by
I
email.
can't
Well,
believe
you know,
it.
Steve,
28%. This ain't less. A lot of
Just
people.
so I can have it, put it on my wall.
Cleveland,
Read the last sentence in this story.
Cincinnati, Lima.
Newspaper.
Can
you believe that?
And you know what?
Because Ohio's twice as big as Indiana.
And a lot of.
12 to 14 million people.
Well, I feel like that if you have a hangnail anymore, you can get disability. You can get classified as disabled and get government. I bet you can.
I lost my commissioner job as January 1st.
Sound disabled to me, Steve.
Does it sound like?
My wife did not get disability after her brain injury.
Is that right?
She was in a coma for weeks.
Are you serious?
She did not get, they turned her down. Yeah, and we had an attorney.
I still have to apply. This is more because my parents have just never done it, but I'm sitting down with my mother to get disability for her. I mean, she's had Parkinson's since she was,
Yeah.
42,
Wow.
but she's also
I've
scheduled
known
here.
people that have gotten it and I question it, but my wife couldn't even get it.
She's scheduled here next month for that
Because you made too much money.
brain surgery that you can have.
I think it was because
It's a three surgery.
we took her to the,
They have to
she
do
went,
a portion,
to
let
the
it
hearing.
heal. She comes
Because
back,
you-
they do more.
you could actually.
'Cause they basically
move.
run an electrode from your brain down to your hip, and you have a like a controller that you can turn on and off that it's supposed to help with symptoms. So
Interesting.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started with the Pledge of Allegiance, and Steve, if you'd lead us in a short prayer. I appreciate it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Lord, be with us today as we deliberate the business of the county. Help us, Lord, to keep in mind the best interests of our residents and your wishes for your people, Lord. Ask all these things in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you. Okay, I know Tony just updated the minutes,
And you had light on fire.
and so,
Make a motion to approve as amended. Second.
okay. Okay, it's approved from the 21st, I believe. All right, Tony, what else do you have for us?
We have Allied weekly health insurance claims, and those are in the amount of $39,256.02. I verified claimants, and we have medical, $26,119.26, prescription, $41,229.48. We had a stop loss credit of $28,029.72 for a total of $39,256.02.
Okay. Very good. All right, you want to take a look at that, and then I accept the motion to approve that.
Make a motion to approve the claim.
Second.
And then we also have the Allied monthly claims. That's administration and all that. $67,928.06 for the Allied monthly.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the Allied monthly claim.
Second.
Okay. Next, we have the payroll AP claims, which are the benefits and so forth that are paid out. The amount is $333,801.47, $333,801.47 on the payroll AP claims.
Okay, any questions on that?
Make a motion that we
pay the AP claims.
Second.
Motion carries. Thank you.
And I handed to you this morning the utilities paid in Lao. And the amount on that is 35,667.76, 35,667.76.
Okay, any questions on that? Not, we would approve that. Take a
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, that is all that I officially have. The only other thing would be, hooray for my Reds, 4 in a row. I got a shout out from ZBD. Of course, we lost the previous 6 or whatever, but who's counting?
All right, can we enter that into record, please?
I could if I wanted.
All right, Nate, what do you have for us?
Actually, I guess it is official record. It's been recorded. So.
We have to ask if he's a Reds fan too, maybe?
No other team really matters to Ed and myself.
We just add in when the Cubs are eliminated from the playoffs every year, so.
At least you got something to look forward to, right?
Something to look forward to. All right, no, just a couple different updates. Countywide bridge inspection, as you're aware, BLN has been doing those starting here in May. They sent me an end of month report on Thursday last week. Couple of minor issues that we're going to address. There's one that's going to be a little more extensive as far as some erosion control prevention that I need to take care of, but I'm going to look into that this week, how I want to address that. Certainly they're going to take this week off with a Memorial Day holiday, short week. I think they're going to give themselves a break and then come back in following next week to do the next round or second half of the inspection. So I do have something that I'll have to take care of, obviously, for, I think it was Bridge 65, but I'll have to double check that. I didn't bring that email with me. I did send out the RFQs for bridges 40 and 132. I actually did a smaller one for Bridge 44, which is a cleaning project. I've got filled up and debris on the joints on a Bridge 44, and then there's joint repair that I want to do. That's going to be very small, so I didn't think that it was necessary to bring it up. It follows the same format. So if you want, I could bring all of them for commissioner approval before I issue them, but is there a dollar amount that I could just issue requests for proposals without kind of bogging down or slowing meetings up? I didn't compare that to purchasing. Most of these are going to be under 25,000. The 132 certainly is going to be a bigger one with all the asphalt on it.
Well, I don't know if there's a specific dollar amount for approval, as opposed to maintenance versus reconstruction. Well, I guess what would you like to, I mean, if we get into maintenance issues, do you see larger, like joint repair? And of course, when we get into the resealing of bridges, we've already approved that process.
That process is pretty straightforward for us with our crews. Some of the joint repairs, some small minor patching, as long as I'm quoting these out and getting a number of solicitations done for documentation, I don't know that it's necessarily an issue for us long term. It's just a question as far as speed and tempo for these meetings, right? I don't want to hold you up, and as sometimes you feel like, so what are we doing on this bridge and why are we bringing it up? But you do meet every week, so it's not like we're real long as far as timing. So just a question that I thought I'd bring up to you. Think about that. If you're not concerned, let me know, and I'll bring up as much as seems necessary as far as kind of updates on projects.
Mark or Clayton, do you have any thoughts on, he's asking about a dollar amount on moving ahead with projects without our specific approval? I mean, are there any trigger numbers that we should know before he does RFQs on maintenance?
You've got your purchasing agent ordinance or spending ordinance. I think it depends on what we're talking about. Are we talking about engineering? Are we talking about?
This would be for preventative maintenance sort of projects for the most part.
You're just talking about the RFQs, or you're not actually talking about letting the work.
Yeah, so this is just for RFQs for work, so,
you know, I think that's fine. So you gotta bring the.
So I'd bring the quotes in.
Right. As long as we get, I think anything over, what's it, 5,000, we have to actually approve, the commissioners have to approve, but
No.
as far as getting the quotes, use your own judgment.
Okay, that'll speed some things up and then
Yeah.
we're not talking about them multiple weeks in a row then, okay. Small structures, I expect to see some of that starting here this next month. We've got the quotes out, we've approved the work for the different contractors on those. I don't necessarily have a lot of dates as far as specifically where the closures will be, but as soon as the contractors tell me, then I'll get notices out to the papers. But you're not probably gonna know where the closures are gonna be, so if you get a phone call from someone about a closure, let me know and we'll kind of address that, but they're all rural areas, but dispatch and the paper will know before we do any of those. And the radio.
Then, of course, we'll have our surprises for the people who say, oh, I don't read the paper or listen to the radio. I didn't know
No.
about that.
I looked out and saw something new today and I don't like it, so that's all right. Nope, we'll just kind of, just a warning for that. And I talked to the guys about the safety fund meeting that was last week. We are certainly looking at different projects. I'm looking for some on bridge sides, and I know they're talking about what potential opportunities we have for the roads. Obviously, the call has not gone out yet, so we can't say too much yet, but we're trying to get all of our ducks in a row so that we're eligible for different work here in the county, so more to be released when the state tells us, so.
Good.
All right. Other than
So is there a lot of safety issues identified?
I've got a broad range of some of them that are eligible projects on the bridges. So there's a lot of little locations. I mean, not like glaring problems, but if they're going to provide funding. The rumor I've heard is the state is going to put up about $50 million for projects. So that's what was brought up during their meeting. So
Okay,
if I could have some of that brought in here, great.
sure.
But not stuff that I would do without the funding opportunity. So,
Yeah.
but we'll see. Great.
Very good. Thank you, Nate.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nate.
Brad, Paul? Did you get a call on a deer in the road this morning?
Did you get that?
I didn't.
It's down from your place.
Tammy called me and said there was a dead deer laying in the road. So,
Not uncommon. So, Paul's gonna hand out, we received our monthly draw.
thank you, Paul. Yes, sir.
So for the month of May, our MVH is $322,312.45. $322,312.45.
Boy, May and April's just about right there.
They're about right on. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's always interesting too, those are our two big months of everybody driving, so,
May and April.
yep. So on the backside, our local road and street draw for the month of May. $47,236.65. $47,236.65.
Make a motion to accept it.
Second.
Motion carries. Thank you. All right.
So we have
Change
two
there.
permits. Both of them with the same company. So if you remember, the sheriff that came in, I remember a couple months ago talking about the cameras that read license plates. And so they are going ahead with two of these. And one will be at 550 North and Pickle Road. And the other one will be in Monmouth at 850 North and Pickle Road. And basically, they've sent us their plans. I mean, if you guys want to see any of this, you can, but it's basically a 12-foot, it'll be 12-foot tall, just a pole. So it's nothing big. And on top, it'll just have solar and a camera. So it's, you probably might have seen them on going Wells County on 124 also.
And what's
It's the
that
same
used
type of
for?
thing. That reads the license plates as they're coming in or out of. If you remember the sheriff, if there's somebody that they're looking for, a car they're looking for, you know, or a person they're looking for, they'll read those plates and it'll alert them that, hey, it just passed here. So this company anyhow, it was out of Colorado. They got their permits to do put the signs up, whatever you want to call them, the cameras.
Posting.
Yeah, post and camera.
They're solar powered, right, Brad?
Correct.
Where does that video go to? I mean, because I knew.
We don't know the particulars in it.
I knew video storage is super
Yeah,
expensive.
the sheriff came in and it's been a while ago.
What was the name of the company?
Flock Safety.
FLOCK?
Remember the sheriff talking
I don't
about
either.
that.
I'm not, I'll be right out front.
No, that's-
I'm not,
Yeah.
you're not gonna get my vote to put that up, cause I think that's, taking rights away from people. I'm just,
Oh, no,
no, I'm just,
trust me, we're just,
I don't remember the sheriff ever
Just the
coming
messenger.
in.
yeah, we're
And
presenting the.
this here is, that's getting into too much.
Yeah, I was really hoping he'd be here today.
Yeah,
I know.
I think he needs to come back and help us understand
Yeah.
that a little bit better.
Okay, and that's fine. Like I said, we're just presenting.
It's been too long. Sorry about that.
No,
You
you're
probably
fine.
did and I've forgotten, but.
You
I don't
guys are
remember.
fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just presenting permits for him to do the work because we don't want to get into the other.
Did you guys approve 4 cameras for him to start with? I remember him being here, and there was a
I
certain
don't
amount
recall
of
this at
cameras.
all myself. No recollection.
I have
Anyhow,
no
I-
recollection
And
of
I
this.
thought you
Yeah.
guys-
You're saying they're taking pictures of license plates and sending them in. I'm saying, oh, no, you're
Read it
not.
somewhere. I read it.
That's fine. Like I said, that is fine. Absolutely fine because we're not too worried about it.
Okay.
So, like I said, I was hoping he'd be here today to talk about that.
Mark, had you heard anything about this?
I think I read about it somewhere because they had to explain that it wasn't to get speeders, it wasn't to, all it does is if there's an Amber Alert
Yes.
and they put the license plate out, these cameras can see if that license plate passed through this area.
So,
That's what they said it's for.
so they turn them on and off then, or what?
Yeah, it's only if they are looking for, let's say somebody robbed a bank.
We'll have to.
When you have the license plate of the vehicle, it just, I think there's other places in the state that are doing this because I read it in the Gazette or somewhere.
Wells County's got one, right?
I knew somebody had one. But they were asking the same thing you guys were asking, and the answer was, it's only Amber Alerts, robberies, kidnapping.
That's how a wedge starts, just with a point.
I mean, I don't really care. I don't vote. I'm just explaining what I
Hit the
read.
wedge and you hit it and it just starts with the point, and guess what happens? Then it splits it wide open and everything's used for it. No. I can tell you that right now, as long as I'm sitting here, you're not getting my vote, period.
That's fine.
Hey, Brad, did anybody think why they picked these 2 locations? Why they picked those, not something else?
That is one of the,
Sorry. That's
One of
just
the
way
main
I
thorough.
feel.
well, that and, okay, anybody that's not from this area, if you're using
I still remember the
your
conversation.
GPS,
Uh-huh.
it actually will take you
They-
that way down Pickle Road to get to the other side of Decatur. It will not run you through downtown.
Oh, I never used GPS.
So you are tabling that particular right away from
We are
there,
tabling that until further discussion with the sheriff.
Table.
but you still have one row.
They were both with the same company. It was for the 2 different places.
So those are, okay.
They're done.
Those are big.
I make a motion that we table those until we have further discussion with the sheriff.
Second.
Okay, motion carries.
All right, so we discussed a little bit before, but some stuff we didn't plan on doing. We had discussed with you earlier that we had, when our guys go out to mow, They take pickups out, they leave the tractor and mower out. They take a pickup out, you know, in the mornings, get in the tractor and they go mow and leave the pickup set. We had one parked on some property and he parked it under a tree, big tree for shade. And he left in the morning to go mow and he needed to move the truck, so he came back at noon, trees on the truck. But nobody was hurt. You know, luckily he wasn't around it when it happened, nobody was around. So, like I said, we hadn't really planned on this, but it's a 2012 and we gotta go get estimates. We've already, our insurance will take care of it. We gotta go get an estimate on it. But I guess we would just like your permission, because we're thinking they're not gonna fix it. Not a 2012 that's got 180-some thousand miles on it and it was already rusty. We would like your permission to start the process of looking for another pickup. And if you, just as
I
a
hope you don't
refresher.
have as much trouble as you had last time.
Well, that's another reason we kind of like to get this started. Just as when we got Paul's truck in, when did you get that?
November.
November, it was $58,000. So. And just like, yeah, we would like to get this process started if you allow us to.
Was,
Basically, we would like your permission, even before the insurance company decides what to do with it, that if they do total it, we have permission to start looking.
Are you gonna go out, are you looking for another new one or?
Yes. Yeah, it's just, we were planning on coming next year and asking for another pickup anyhow, it's just kind of moving it up a year.
that's what I was gonna ask you, what.
And we do have
where
it in
you were
our-
at in your replacement.
And we still do have money in our equipment budget that we can do it. It's just moving it up a year. Yeah. And if they don't total it, then you know what, we'll go from there.
Make a motion to allow you to begin the purchase process, assuming that the insurance totals the truck.
Second.
Okay, motion carries.
Okay,
There was no chainsaw marks on the bottom of the tree.
no, just, you know how when they splinter, you know, when they splinter? Oh, it splintered all right. It's,
Was there a storm, Brad, or just?
no, it was last Thursday. Remember, it was kind of windy last Thursday, but not
Yeah.
bad. The wind was just perfect and it laid that tree right down right
So
at
there
the
wasn't
wind
wind.
on
Right where he was.
The wind
right
didn't
where
cause
it's parked.
There wasn't a dead limb in the tree. I looked, I was like, well, is this tree dead? There
Wow.
wasn't a dead
Huh.
limb in it. It was clear
It was
full of leaves
very odd.
and just.
Yes.
Sometimes those ants will come up and eat them hollow, 4,
Yeah.
5, 6 feet up.
And you gentlemen saw the picture, but if you had said if you'd have parked 3 foot over, there would have been a big limb right through the middle of it. And
Then it would have been totaled.
For sure.
We wouldn't have this
For sure.
conversation.
That's right.
That made it so much easier.
Parking under another tree.
No, Paul's instructed him that now when you take a pickup out, don't park under trees. Please don't. Okay, so next item of business, the town of Monroe has approached us on Polk Street when you come off of 27th, okay, when you're heading like to our garage. It is state NDOT road, and right before you get to like Strick's fence, the county highway has 200 feet of road there. So it's NDOT, county highway 200 feet, and Monroe takes it over the rest of the way. And Monroe, there's will be another spot too, but Monroe has approached us about, they would like to take that over, that 200 feet. And we're like, we'll present it to you guys, you know, to us, it's just kind of a pain. And then also, going out of Monroe, south on 000, you know, kind of where their sewage stuff is and all that, and there's those manholes there. Well, Monroe actually has just past that or close to that, and they would like to take it out to the bus garage. So we didn't measure it, I never thought about measuring, but they would like to take over that also, because he's planning on paving, and he would like to be able to just pave all the way out there to the bus garage and do it all. And I says, I didn't have a problem, but we would present it to you guys.
I don't know what that entails, honestly.
He's already, Justin's already reached out to the people from the state to take care of that change in mileage and that kind of stuff. I just didn't know I can't remember, we talked about this before, is that something, since they want to take it over, do they take care of everything and then just get our permission?
In Monroe to move that over into their road inventory?
Yes, yes.
I think we do.
And I thought they did, the way the gentleman made the letter sound. Just need to get our permission, and then Monroe will take care of the paperwork.
You want a project before it's taken over?
No, they're gonna take it over and they're gonna do it.
Justin has a bunch of projects he wants to do,
Yes.
and has funding for, so.
So that way, if we move it into their inventory, he's got control of that.
Correct.
Correct. And he can apply it to that project.
And where's the 200 feet at?
Okay, on Polk Street, when you come off the highway, off of 27, you know, like you're going to our garage from the north.
Mhm.
NDOT has, like where you come around that curve and that and the hill, and there's, right there at Strick's north fence. If you go 200 feet north, that 200 foot is ours. So you got NDOT, 200 foot of ours, and then Monroe takes it all the way into town.
Well, if they're willing to do it, I mean, it makes sense. I don't know from the nuts and bolts of it, how that will affect you.
You know, honestly, it's not even a half mile total for both of them.
Is that from there all the way to 27?
Not
No,
all the
just-
way, Cause NDOT.
State of.
It's up to the state
State
right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That like exit ramp,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it's not, like I said, it's a less than a half mile total. It's not gonna affect us.
You need a motion to,
I'm guessing it probably needs to be in the minutes.
I'll make a motion that we, County Highway Department turns it over to the town of Monroe.
Or at least that you approve of it. 'cause
I
mean,
approve of it, okay.
Yeah, I'll
Get
be the
permission
one,
for it.
I'm sure I'll be the one doing the paperwork for the town of Monroe to add
Oh,
it
yeah,
to
I
the
forgot
actual
about that.
inventory.
I would say it's, yeah, the commissioners approve it subject to, you know, processing of the.
Their town board has to approve it yet too.
Yeah.
Acceptance.
They meet this
State
Thursday.
of Indiana.
Next Thursday.
This Thursday.
I'll make that motion.
Go second.
I'll second.
Okay, very good. Motion carries.
Okay, so one of the other things we would like to discuss is we had an incident over the weekend where a private landowner went out on one of our stone roads, and there again, probably should have measured that, but took their skid loader up and down the road for 400 or 500 feet and took off a bunch of the stone off the road, applied it to his driveway. There's two individuals that witnessed it, two individuals that took pictures of it, and one of them actually talked to the guy. So we've got,
I guess my thought is turn it over to the sheriff's department.
okay,
I agree.
that'll be just fine.
Sounds like theft to me. Let's turn it
How
over
long
to Sheriff's
is the
Department.
distance there, Brad? How many feet?
If I had to guess, 400 or 500 feet, maybe. Maybe.
Gee whiz.
I'm sure nobody will notice me doing this.
The problem is when you go by and look at his driveway, it didn't make it any
Didn't
better.
help it much.
Roughly, where was that, Brad? What part of the county?
375 east,
What now?
375 east, north of Pickle Road. So yes, we have a couple things to talk to the sheriff's department about, so we will be in contact with them.
At least he didn't steal salt and pepper shakers from Walmart.
That's right.
That's
We
what
don't know that. It's got standards.
So other than that, normal, we're starting to patch. Paul ordered a load of oil in, so the guys will be out patching the small patches in the road before we chip seal them. And we finally, wait a minute, nope, one's still down. One of our motors still down. Ain't it?
Nope, they're
That's
all
up and
running.
All four of the motors are running this week finally. They are out mowing.
Yeah.
We'll start measuring the dust control out this week so we can spray it next week or the following, depending on the weather, so. And then we switch to chip seal.
And when you switch to that chip seal, are you going to still have that section where you're gonna try that new to fill in the troughs? To see if-
We haven't got any information when they're ready with that yet, so we're hoping it's coming this summer, but they haven't given us a date or anything like that, so.
I was thinking that you guys said it would be this summer. I was just curious.
They were hoping.
They're hoping this summer, but we don't have a date yet, so,
Okay.
yeah, we definitely have several.
Do you have a
places
space that you're going to set aside in case it does come?
Yeah, the
Oh,
road,
yeah.
the road that we were going to try it on, that seems to be the worst, is not getting chip sealed this year.
Okay.
Just because we're not sure where this is gonna go, and that's a perfect trial. I
Good,
think, so.
good deal.
Yeah, we got plenty of areas we can test it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's.
So it's a different solution, not necessarily a different stone, because there's
Right.
There's harder stone
It'd be a
available.
different oil or asphalt combination that they're working on, so.
Okay.
We give them some horseshoes with some sizable cleats on them for them to, so when they're in their lab testing it, they actually have what we're up against.
That's how they test it?
They have all sorts of ways of testing it. They got hammers and they got
Like friction test.
friction tests and they have all sorts of things. So we give them horseshoes hoping that maybe they can utilize those and say, okay, this is what we're up against. So let's pound this chunk of asphalt with this and see what happens.
It'd be kind of cool if they could put that on a wheel that went around.
Probably can. If something goes up and down.
Probably do.
Or just a piston and slams it into the road.
Anyhow, that's all.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
thanks.
Guys.
Thank you,
Very
gentlemen.
good. Thank you, guys.
I don't know yet. We have, they just quit selling on Thursday and we haven't been through it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll have
Okay,
it.
Rick's not here. Ed, did you have a report for us today?
I do, just a few things to catch up. Good morning.
Morning.
I want to let you know, well, first of all, 2 weeks ago, we were at 81% of spring collection posted. As of this morning, we're at 98.17%.
Cool.
So everything that we have collected is posted through our system and we're in good shape. Now, this is before we will mail out the delinquent letters that go out after, beginning June 11th. So after 30 days, then we mail the delinquent letters out. So we're in really good shape as far as collections. I ran the numbers for L&D Mailmasters. They are our vendor who prints, tabulates, and mails out our tax bills. And I got real numbers, and for the amount of records, we have 23,198 that we mailed out tax bills for. They can do that, print them, fold them, stuff them, and mail them, and put them a postage on for 74 cents each. I can't buy the supplies and a stamp to put on them for that, much less the 3 weeks of work it took my staff 3 years ago. 3 weeks of work, 3 different people, 40 hours a week. It took 3 weeks of pretty much nonstop of printing, folding, stuffing, tabulating, sorting. They do all of it in about 5 hours.
How difficult is it to get that information to them correctly?
It is all in our system, and as long as we have good addresses. So we work together closely with both the auditor's office and the assessor's office to keep those addresses up to date. And it's an issue. People move, sometimes people have multiple properties and they want all of them sent to here, or they have.
Which is actually the same labor that it would take if you were to mail them out yourself.
Yes. We just got to keep all those addresses up to date all the time. And that's a never ending thing. Sometimes you'll have, for an example, 2 brothers that have a farm. Okay, this one's gonna pay the spring, this one's gonna pay the fall taxes. And they have to let us know, and we can make that happen in our system to mail those. A lot of that, Kathy has a file that she keeps on all the special things. We have had situations where they say, well, I never got the bill. Well, state law says you still have to pay your taxes whether you get the bill or not. That is a state code. Now, we do everything we can to keep everybody, and so they have a physical bill in their hand a month before they're due. But it is an issue to keep them all going. Add to that, the United States Postal Service has had a real problem this year. If you know that they are reorganizing in Indiana and actually across the country. We used to do everything from Decatur, would go out through Fort Wayne. Well, now they're gonna go from Decatur to Fort Wayne to Indianapolis, and that's where they're gonna be distributed. They're redoing Fort Wayne to be a mini distribution center, but the big distribution center is gonna be in Indianapolis. And that's just something that's going on throughout the entire country. So with that, there are some counties that have had a real problem with the post office this year. One county was talking, and I honestly don't know what ended up doing, but they were talking about doing a complete reprinting of all the back tax bills and mailing them out again. Luckily, we didn't have to do that. It's not a problem now in Adams County, but I just kind of want to let you all know because it could be a problem down the road with the post office. We'll have to wait and see how this reorganization helps or doesn't help with the distribution of mail, but I hope it helps.
Well, that is something that's definitely out of our control.
That part is, there is something that we can think about that we don't do now, but there is a way that we can email tax bills. And if taxpayers would want to have their email on file, we could do it all electronically. And that would be instead of getting one in the mail. We could probably do them both. And that might be what we would do for a short time, but we would work toward getting more and more email addresses and not be so concerned about the physical address. I'm not sure that I want to go that way. I want to have, there's just something about having that bill come in the mail and they see it, you know.
Right.
That's just old fashioned, but that's the way it's worked for a lot of years. I'd like to keep that, but I'm trying to get ahead of everything and just, it's a potential situation down the road. We've had some issues here locally that you always have people that say, well, I didn't get my bill this year. And that's for, there's various reasons that may happen. A lot of times they didn't tell us that they moved and they want all the tax bills to go over here now. We used to have them over here, but we sold that to our son and now, we moved over here and we need them over here. We find out after the fact. We also had a specific issue that just happened and Clayton was very instrumental in working it out with us, with a taxpayer who lives part of the time in Indiana, part of the time in Florida, a lot of snowbirds. And he said that he did not get it forwarded in time for him to pay it on time. And that's not us. We bailed it to the address on record, which is in Decatur. And he didn't get it forwarded to him in time. So we worked through that. Clayton was very good about getting it all done, but he was a interesting customer to work with. But it's all done and he's all paid up. But that's something we're gonna have to think about down the road. Not this year, hopefully not next year, but somewhere down the road, we're gonna have to keep an eye. And I will do so. But other than that, we're in good shape. Interest is doing well. I have a whole thing here, but I'll have it all up to date next month when we have the month-end report, give you an up-to-date thing then. Good. That's all I have unless you have any questions.
Thanks, Ed.
I don't think I have any questions. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ed.
You're supposed to have a company called that does the sorting and printing and stuff. What's called?
L&D.
L and capital N or what?
L ampersand
Oh, after
D Mail Masters.
mail.
New Albany, Indiana.
Oh, New Albany.
We've used them 3 years now. They do a wonderful job. I'm very happy.
Okay, Mark, did you have anything for us?
On subdivision.
How was vacations?
Good. Sorry, I haven't got back to you guys. I've only been back for 2 days. Get back to last Thursday. So this is Rod Bombacher. Bombacher used to be on our planning commission for a while. He is simply taking his lot here, which is the blue section, and taking off 2 acres, and they're actually gonna be building some grain bins. He wanted to have them on a separate parcel for whatever reason. That's what they're doing right there.
So that takes him to his 3 parcels then?
Well, this is already out, so
Oh, I see.
he only did a 2-lotter. This is something that's already been gone.
600 each.
Okay,
So you can still do another.
Yep.
motion approved.
Second. Just 2 acres is all it is?
Yep.
Okay. 100 south and 6 east, okay.
Yep, 600 east, 100 south.
Very good.
See, that's Rod, his name is Rod?
Rod Runbach. Yep.
Already.
Thank you. That's all I got.
Very good. Well, good luck catching up after being. Okay. Mark or Clayton, either one, do you have anything for us?
The one thing is I have a certificate of appointment for you all to sign. And it is for the appointment of Katrina Gilbert to be your appointment as the member of the health board.
Okay, so I'd accept a motion to approve that. I know we approved last week, but this is the actual.
I make a motion.
Second.
Okay. I'd vote in favor of that also, motion carries. Now, when I said that to Brooke, she said we had one more appointment to do, so I don't know if that's to the health board yet. But, or whether it was, excuse me, the sewer district.
I assume it's the sewer district because that takes care of your appointments to the health board.
That's what I thought, because she said there's, Decatur had submitted names, so apparently those 3 names didn't pan out. So I don't know if we need to find somebody else other than,
I've got, we'll have to check to see. Lord, I'm not convinced that.
You'll need a screen of that.
yeah.
And then if you can call her to come in.
Yeah, Angie will. I'll get that to Angie, we'll scan what it's in Brooke, we'll give Katrina a call.
She's a pharmacist, but she doesn't work out unless she works at the hospital as an in-house pharmacist. So if you gotta catch her there.
We did have a new appointment to the sewer board. I don't know if that fills out our appointments to the sewer board, I'll have to check.
Yeah, the board's filled up.
Oh, so I might be mistaken. I think, okay, you guys have satisfied your appointments, but you have to yet approve
The city's.
the city's recommendation. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
And so we're still waiting for names
Waiting
and
for them.
them to provide us with names that actually pan out under the statute.
Alright.
That's weekly.
I did not have anything else for the you, Mark.
in the city.
Yeah. Shannon's not here today.
He's out this week.
Okay. Sheriff, did you have anything for us?
I guess, the flock cameras, I guess you guys have questions over.
Refresh our memory on what this program's all about.
Flock cameras are an investigative tool. It's a nationwide company. I guess the latest version is most recent, probably 3.5, 4 months ago, Wells County recovered a kidnapped girl by using the flock camera systems. And what it does, it takes a picture of every car that passes it. And you can request from the system, like if I know the actual plate number, but I could know a make of a vehicle, the plate or make of vehicle and a certain sticker in the back right window of the car, I can filter those requests and it will search their database and it timestamps when that car goes by. And so you can track, that's how they tracked that girl back up into Wisconsin and they recovered her in Wisconsin. It will alert for different violations that you want it to, as far as the registered owner, like if the HTV, never licensed, things like that too. And then what it does is for any officers that are working, it would send an email or a text to their phone saying this vehicle, it'd show a picture of it, just passed State Road 124, just into the county 2 minutes ago. And so if any officers are in the area, they could observe for that vehicle and do a traffic stop on it if they wanted to do it that way. It will flag for any license plate that's been reported stolen. It will just, send a message out to the officer working that this vehicle with the stolen plate on it just passed this camera at this time and date. It does those type of functions. Wells County has some, Decatur's getting some, I wanna get some, Burns getting 2 cameras. We're kind of setting up, I don't know if you wanna say a grid around our county of the major roadways, using it as an investigative tool.
Should we have concerns relative to privacy and or individual I mean, it feels pretty squishy to me, like I'm not kind of comfortable with it. Help me get comfortable with it.
I guess I don't know why you're under camera surveillance everywhere you go right now.
And so why do we
Tell-
want
tell-
to add
tell-
more?
Because I don't have access to those camera systems.
Tell me about the camera systems we have in Adams County right now.
Every ATM you go by, your camera's on it.
Understood.
Every Ring doorbell, you're on camera. I just don't have access to those.
Okay, but we don't have anything that's authorized by the county to be cameras in service to the county
I
that
guess,
you're aware of.
no, this is a new system coming into
Okay.
the area with Decatur using it. I'm gonna use it. Burns gonna use it. Possible Geneva. They don't know, what's going on yet.
Is there a cost to it and
Mm-hmm.
how does it?
Yeah, it's $3,000 a camera per year, and I'm paying for it.
Okay.
Surveillance state.
If you want to look at it that way, but I look at an investigative tool. Without that tool, that girl would have been murdered. Plain and simple. Stolen vehicles recovered, drugs are taken off cars. I can get you all kind of stats from most counties for the short 6 months they've had it, if you'd like. It's an investigative tool. If you're doing nothing wrong, what are you worried about? If you're driving legally, what are you worried about? If you're suspended or you're HTV, you shouldn't be driving. That's my job. Is keeping our roads safe. It's an investigative tool that I plan on using.
The camera only takes pictures of the rear of the car.
Yes, yep. Yep, oh, it's one directional, one way. Like I said, Wells County had them coming in his, I'm gonna have them come in ours, so we basically have the major roadways covered both ways. Between our 2 counties, Mercer County uses them, Van Wert County uses them. We'll have access to their cameras too, so if someone does something over there, they report, it will notify us if they come into our county, otherwise we'd have no idea. I
Who
don't
has
understand.
access to the information?
The police officers that I assigned to only
Where's this information stored?
on Flock's servers. The federal government uses them, everybody uses them. It doesn't, I had somebody ask me like, so if my kid's out on a 4-wheeler on a state road, you're gonna get a picture of that? No, it doesn't do that. It is programmed to
So
look
if
at
you were in
registered
the
vehicles.
system, if you were to flag my license plate, it would trigger the camera and trigger an alert.
Say that again?
You say it triggers on, say, stolen plate.
Yeah, if you reported your car stolen, when we
Yeah.
enter that into IDEX
And I drove
NCIC.
past the camera, it would
It would,
trigger that.
it would notify the officers in the surrounding areas that this vehicle, the stolen plate just passed was going eastbound on 124 at this time and date.
Gotcha.
Yep. And we have MOUs with Bluffton, Wells County and stuff that we will allow them to see our alerts and we can see their alerts.
Brad,
Because
did
we're
you
so
have something?
close.
I do have a question. I didn't think about this for Sheriff. The 2 permits we got are on Pickle Road.
Mhm.
Are those for you or is that for the city of Decatur?
For me,
Oh,
under me.
I don't know why I got thinking about that. I just want to make sure. Okay.
Yeah. That way, because Pickle Road, we know is a area, a road that people avoid Decatur on, cutting around it. So we're getting both ways on Pickle Road.
So it is not clocking people's speed?
No. It takes a picture of the plate, and if your plate's not entered into anything for any reason, we don't know about
So
it.
it does not have the capability to manage, to report on speed,
No,
just,
it takes a picture of the plate only. It is not there for traffic enforcement. It is there for criminal investigation techniques.
Does that create any additional liability for the county as far as, I'm not sure how that would be.
I'm not liability as far what?
I don't know.
The pole
I'm
itself,
trying to think like a
one of those two.
Yeah. I don't-
It's a small 4-inch tubular pole that's mounted on. If it's wrecked in a crash, they pay for it, Flock pays for it. I'm leasing it basically. If
Yeah.
it breaks, they pay for it. It's solar powered.
I mean, like if somebody came back and said, hey, this is an invasion of privacy here. I mean, there's no liability that way.
I mean, this is being used for years in
Yeah.
states. So I've never heard of that.
And when you're out in public on a public road, you're open to being.
It'd be no different than if I'm
photographed.
happen to be behind your plate, I'd run your plate for any reason.
Sure.
Yeah, it's hooked through the NCIC system, IDAX, which it has to be entered into that for it to flag the plate to notify us for anything.
If it was taking pictures like really deep inside the vehicle, you might have an argument that it was like,
No,
it is not.
Okay.
That would be more of what you're talking about, an argument of invasion of someone's reasonable expectation of privacy within their own vehicle, but it's not doing that.
and you can search it by make, color, like I said, stickers. You would not even have, when they first started tracking that van in Wells County, they knew it was a white van that was too broad. Then they came to find out, had information, it was from, Wisconsin, so they put that in, and then it started hitting, Columbia City, Valpo, and then they got it up in Wisconsin was where they actually got off of that. And then as they got more information, they were able to get a plate number, put that in, and that's when it locked in on where the vehicle was.
I have to say with that recent example, that's pretty powerful.
Honestly, that's kind of
to
what
me.
got me, because I've kicked around this, and I might have talked to you guys about this over a year ago, maybe, as something, but I wasn't sold on it until after speaking with the Wells County officers and investigation. And then at some of the conferences, speaking to the Flock people. Nowadays,
Really, it would be no different than you having another deputy sitting at that site, running
every
license
place,
plates, running every
running
plate.
every single plate that went by to see if there's something wrong. Correct.
Hey, Dan, these are solar powered. Do they work at night?
The solar power covers a battery, backs up the battery that.
So the battery does work through night.
Correct, and the cameras work at nighttime also.
And one more question. How many stolen cars do we have in the county per year, you think roughly? Stolen vehicles?
Honestly, I don't know that, but you're not so much getting the ones that are stolen from here, you're getting them that were stolen from Fort Wayne
Just going
and
through.
driving through.
About 304 highways.
Yes, yeah, and 33 coming from Ohio and everything else too. It's not so much you're looking at what's stolen here, which it would help, because that's one thing the system do. Let's say, the system's operational and a vehicle was stolen this morning right now. And it doesn't get reported till tonight. I can go back and put that information in, and if a camera shows it where it went after it keeps track of it. If you could go back yes. Once the camera records it, it's there, I
You
forget.
can look for a specific license plate.
That's for a specific license plate, yeah. So then I could come back, I can get hit saying, yes, that vehicle was seen on 224, going out of town at 10:55 a.m. this morning's date.
Right.
I know it was westbound out of town. And then we'd know if it crossed over into Wells County, because Wells County camera would then flag it too. Markle's getting cameras. Markle's getting 5 cameras in the little town of Markle, because all the state highways that come in through 116, 224, the interstate. So they're doing it. It is a trend that is happening because of the benefit that it provides us. Like you said, it's having an officer standing running every single plate that goes through. And again, we're not looking for speed. We're not looking for that. It doesn't do that.
And I appreciate the fact that it can't do
It doesn't
that.
even do it. It doesn't even do it.
Just because we don't do it now, if it can do it, I would be a little more concerned.
It has no intentions.
If
That's not their
it
goal.
can't do that,
Nope.
that's one thing.
There's no radar equipment for the camera itself whatsoever.
No facial recognition,
No.
no, nothing like that.
Sitting here, I just think you're getting into individual rights. I'm not doing anything wrong. I can take my picture all you want, but I'm thinking as a representative of the county that they elected me to, And I just feel like you are, so you're crossing the line that there's no return. And maybe that line's already been crossed, but I can't, as sitting here as a county commissioner for Adams County, I can't say, cross that line. And even though you might save that life or something else, I just.
But you just said it right there. They could save a life and.
I understand that, but I
guess the thing I think of, it's no more intrusive than an officer sitting alongside the road checking plates.
It's a whole lot less intrusive, honestly. Because officers sitting inside, people will slow down, people will change their behavior.
And see, that's the problem. Does the public even know that this is out there?
Well, I'm gonna post it right here.
I understand that. but
Anybody that reads the paper anyway.
Do they even understand what this is doing to their liberties?
I don't think it's doing anything to their liberties. What did I think an oath to?
To uphold, to protect and uphold the law.
Yeah, and there's nothing against the law with this.
Okay, well, I'm not saying there is, but I feel like it's right there of crossing that line of, and so I just,
But for me, the technology there without this, that girl would not be back with her family. And I think it's worth that. I really do, because if your child or grandchild gets kidnapped, what are you doing? Well, there's nothing I can do. I don't have all the tools made necessary to me. This is a tool. It's technology that is there. Everybody's using
and
it.
you know what? I'm thrilled that we can sit here and have this conversation
too.
And I can disagree and you can agree and you can disagree and I can agree, but we're not getting mad at each other. We're having a good conversation here and I'm telling you how I feel and you're trying to talk me into it, but I'm just telling you what, the longer you dig, it's just getting, I'm not comfortable with it.
Okay.
But I'm only one of three.
Understood? And I don't make, this is gonna come off completely wrong. So gentlemen, please don't take it this way. You're only providing permission for a permit. You can deny the permit. I can go to the homeowner, the property owner, and ask their permission for the camera on their property. They can give it to me, and you still can't stop this project from happening. I'm not trying to throw that in your face. I'm just stating the facts. This is an expense by statute that I'm allowed to pay for out of commissary, and I plan on doing it. Not a slap in your face at all. I want you to be on board with this.
It's not a slap in my face. I'm not on board with it because I don't like it. And I say, if you want to go to that resident and he wants to put that up, that's his individual right.
Yep.
But my individual right as county commissioner, I don't feel comfortable that I can do that.
I guess to me, it seems like a prudent law enforcement tool without any additional invasion of privacy, no more than an officer sitting alongside the road with a radar gun.
But, well, don't use that analogy, because it has nothing to do with radar. That's what'll get public upset. This is not a speed timing device. It doesn't take a picture of you when you speed and send you a ticket. That's not this at all.
No, I understand that.
Okay.
I'm just comparing,
But
if I'm driving down.
I don't want them printing you saying that it's them sitting there running the radar.
But I'm just saying,
Because it's not that type of equipment
if I'm
whatsoever.
driving down the road, I'm out in public. I'm exposing myself to public photography, public observance, public whatever, by being on a public road. I understand that, hey, I'm exposing myself. If I don't want people to read my license plate, I'll back into the barn and shut the door.
Don't say you're exposing yourself. Don't print that either.
Driving down the road, stand exposing himself. Don't print that.
So Stan, can we revisit Brad's permit request?
I think we tabled that till next week, didn't we?
We tabled it, but we didn't give a time frame, so
All
I think we can revisit that motion for the permit at this time and.
Was the permit to locate it within the right of way?
Yes. Yeah, because there's a certain angle it has to be to get the right angle on the plate, so, but it's also my understanding, and I haven't talked to Brad about this, like I stated before, the property owners own the land up to the road with you having a right of way to it, but they still technically own the land, correct?
That's a good question for those two, how that's stated, but no.
Because looking at GIS
They actually own the middle of the road, yet it's our right of way to take care of and maintain.
and do what you need to do out that right of way. So that's why, and that's why I also state that I could also go to the individual homeowner, and if they would allow it, then it still happens without the permitted process.
Just out of our right.
You would just would be able to do it in the right of way.
Could these cameras identify a skid loader that was taking stone off of a county road?
That's another story for you, Sheriff.
Could these cameras identify, trailers that are going down the road with people sitting in lawn chairs with no plates, no slow moving vehicle signs?
From what I've seen of the pictures, it's literally the back of the vehicle where the plates should be shown. So could it take a picture of that? If it's shown, but it's only gonna show like the back, maybe third of a trailer. It's not gonna show the whole thing. It's literally taking a picture of the back of the vehicle because it's looking for a.
Just
plate.
like when you go through a toll booth.
Correct.
That's what
Yes.
it's similar to that kind of a camera.
Yes.
It's taking a picture like a toll road camera.
It's not taking a picture of the whole vehicle. It's not taking a picture of the front. It's not taking a picture of the passenger compartment. It's taking a picture of the back window, the tail lights, the back bumper, where that, because you can actually even put in, it recognizes the vehicles at nighttime, especially by make and model, by the configuration of their tail lights and stuff too. Those schematics are put into the system, so it knows the difference between a Honda and a Ford minivan just from its tail lights.
Well, I think we've got enough information that we can act on a motion to approve the permit or deny the permit. So I'd accept a motion to the approval or denial either way, so.
I'll make a motion to approve the permit.
I won't second it.
I'll second that.
Thank you, gentlemen. And like I said,
It's not gonna tell how many times I went to Wilshire Drive.
nope.
Okay.
No,
So-
now, I will say, people like, who are, let's say suspended prior, but they have a, court-ordered workers, attorneys, what I'm talking about, the courts allow them to drive for work.
Work release?
No, it's strictly their drivers, like, they're permitted to drive to and from work, because otherwise they're suspended. I'm trying to think what the terminology is.
Yeah, I know. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, so
It's like-
it will flag their plate as suspended misdemeanor. They should be driving. Well, once the officer stops them and they're prove that they have a worker, we can program that plate out so it doesn't keep flagging that plate because we now know they are legal. Scott has talked to me several times. They've done that with a lot of people because you'll see a pattern of that plate coming through, but they're going to work or whatever. And so they stop them. Oh, I'm going to work. Here's my my work privilege. Workers' privilege from the court, okay, and then they pull it out of the system so it doesn't flag that plate anymore. So there's a huge custom aspect to the program that you can do with it. So,
Commissioners, for the minutes, Steve, you did not second it, Stan did. Are you voting no, or are you
Well, let's
abstaining
take
or
a-
not
let's
voting?
take a- Let's take a vote on that, so.
I vote in favor. Favor of the motion.
I vote against it.
Okay, I'll vote in favor.
I just wanted to make sure I had that correct.
thank you, gentlemen. And when it comes online, like I said, we're going through permitting process through NDOT, and they say that could take 6 months. So when it comes online, I will let you guys know when it comes active. We are not active.
Bring us in some samples of what the photos look like.
Sure.
If you could,
Yep.
I'd like to see that.
Yep.
It's
Sure will.
exactly what.
Probably the
you're
same
going to
thing
see.
you get when you go through a toll bridge, right?
I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure. It's just the back bumper and window and stuff, but yes, I'll bring some in.
I mean, you're right. I know that I'm being observed almost every minute, everywhere I'm at. Maybe not in my house, but maybe. I'm not sure. I get that.
You got an Apple phone?
That's-
It might be.
That's the world we live in today.
Yep.
But I'm concerned anytime we condone it and authorize it and approve it inside the county. So I understand Steve's concerns.
Oh, I do too.
I share them.
And I said.
You've convinced me.
I'm under contract, I will be under contract for a year, and if it's not right, or it doesn't work how we want to, whatever, we can cancel. If it's not, doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna be here forever.
Good deal.
Well, and I think
I
there
didn't
is,
sign that.
No, I don't.
There is an imminent trust that we have in you to
We knew
protect
that, though.
individual
I didn't know
rights,
if you-
individuals' rights.
No, I
Yep.
figured.
And so it's with that trust that I vote yay.
Appreciate it very much.
This will be a
Dan,
long.
for you, a couple questions. How many states is Flock in right now? Do you think, how widespread is it?
Oh.
50? 40, 35?
I would almost say every state,
Almost
honestly.
every state
Yes.
have this now?
Yes.
And also, this thing looks at every plate going by, but only reacts to those that have been reported stolen, right?
Stolen or an issue with the registered owner of that place.
So if 2,000 vehicles go by, it'll read 2,000 plates, but only react to those that are 15 or 20 or 30 that are suspect.
So where's them other plates go? Where's that stored at?
Colorado.
On the Flock servers,
That's in Colorado?
I don't know where they are. They could be. That's because he's dealing with the permitted people, so he might know that.
Is there a way that?
There was two of them. There was one for each location.
Victimized or stolen, kidnapped child, this system or not?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I mean, that's, they said, that's how they recovered the one over in Wells County by that. Otherwise, they would have no idea where that child would have been. Stolen cars, all that stuff, it helps with the investigations.
The quicker they can get to the child, the better, right?
Like I said, if Ohio, Van Wert, Mercer County, which are our neighboring counties, if they have something and that car stolen, and they listed in there, and that car drives in our county, that we would know. Otherwise, we'd really never know, unless we just happen to pull it behind that vehicle. So, appreciate it, Jim. Thank you.
Thank you.
Eric, just because I looked it up, it's in 42 states.
40, that many?
Yeah.
42 states. Yeah.
4,000 cities among 42 states. Wow. Then they're based out of Atlanta.
Atlanta. I didn't know. Okay. That's called Flock, F-L-O-C-K.
Yes.
There's a whole flock of them, Eric.
You could, I don't.
Okay, I'll
I
look
don't
it up
know
on the
exactly.
internet.
Yeah, I just Googled flock.
All right. Gentlemen, anything else from your committees?
No.
Anything else otherwise?
Nothing that I have.
I don't think I have anything else either.
I'm going to make a motion.
Oh, we did have a meeting last week with Mark's office with Rod Rickenberger. And so, that has moved ahead. So
Did you
now,
take your 4-year-old with you?
yes, I did. He was playing with Mark's dog. Well,
The office pup.
That dog gets a lot of visits and pets.
anything from the general public?
I'm researching Flock.
Okay. If not, I accept the motion to
I
adjourn.
think Steve just.
So
I made it.
Oh, second.
Okay, motion carries.
How much money?
It's a little controversy out there.
That's all right.